And we're back with the Incredible Hokes 2015 Summer Edition. We even brought on some extra ammo. I am Chris.
I'm Mark.
This is Jude, the youngest Hoke, the littlest Hoke, coming in at a whopping 3 years old. Are you 3 years old?
3 years old.
What is that? Is that a phone?
Phone.
That's right. You're on TV?
TV.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk about football. So we brought in the expert for football. So what are we going to talk about with football, Mark? Uncle Mark?
Well, I tell you what, to Jude's disappointment, we won't be talking about Hot Wheel cars.
No Transformers.
No Transformers. We'll be talking about NFL football predictions. Early predictions.
No Transformers.
Let's just start, in the AFC, and some thoughts, what we think might happen.
This is our early predictions.
This is very
These are our non-binding predictions.
Non-binding.
So we have the right to change our mind between here and kickoff of week 1.
I always like to see the preseason games.
Yeah.
And then just before the regular season, the first regular season game, then I make my final predictions.
But these are our early.
Very early.
I like it.
You like it?
I like it.
I like it.
All right, so go ahead with your early prediction.
Well, I'll start. AFC, I think the Baltimore Ravens are still ticked off about that playoff loss to the Patriots. And they even changed that special play that they did.
Yeah.
That Belichick did that trick
they
play.
changed rule change,
Rule changes, that's now outlawed. So I think the Ravens will be looking for payback.
Yeah.
And I think that this could be their year. Go ahead.
Ozzie Newsome is the best. He's the general manager, right? Ozzie Newsome? Or is he the player personnel?
I think he got promoted to GM now. He's certainly one of the player personnel directors for sure.
Might be the best guy to build a team since Bill Polian. You know?
Yeah, his record's strong.
Like stupid strong.
Yeah. And Ron Wolf, those three.
Just bringing teams right back with your talent picks and your acquisitions and staying true to the draft and picking up the second tier free agents and just amazing work. And I hate Baltimore with a passion, but you have to give your due. I consider them the enemy, but Ozzie Newsome I'll give it to. I give no one else on the team credit. That's the only human being on that team I'll say anything positive about. The rest of them I'll go straight to. Anyway, all right, go ahead. So NFC.
Did you say yours was the Colts?
Oh, you want me to say mine now?
Yeah.
So I think my early pick to win the AFC is Indy. Just because I think they're pulling a 94 49ers where they're just loaded up with talent. Some older talent, granted, but still talent nonetheless to supplement and fill out the roster. And they've gone offensive heavy. They should be able to move the ball on anybody. I don't like the Colts. They're in my favorite team's division. But Andrew Luck has all the makings of a guy that can pull it out and win the big one.
Yeah.
And I think they've loaded up with talent. So I think they've put a team together for that infamous one-year run, kind of like the Raiders would do too. Raiders did that in 2003 or whatever. They just loaded up.
Well, and they've put the Billy Bob Thornton, a.k.a. Coach Chuck Pagano.
Yeah.
They refused to give him an extension, so he's on the last year of his deal. So he knows
they're
it's
a win
now.
Right now team.
So yeah, he's totally had to buy into the load up and win now.
Yeah. All right, so your NFC. Let's do the surprises last.
Yeah. For a team I think will be at the NFC Championship and the winner for these early predictions, I'm going to say Arizona Cardinals because I think they have under that new coach of theirs. He'll go in his third season I think with them now.
Yeah.
He has just really built a team strong on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
And had Carson Palmer not been lost to injury last year, they would have I think gone deep. They would have made some noise in the playoffs.
Sure.
So I'm going to roll the dice, and just to be different, that I'm going to say that they stay healthy, and I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. And I don't think 49ers in that division are not going to be what they were. They're going to be down. And I think the Seahawks, I think you're going to start to see a little bit of decline there in their dynasty. So that's my pick.
My early favorite for the NFC is Green Bay. They, should have been in the Super Bowl last year. They could have easily have beaten New England. I know that's all speculation and not provable, and I know they didn't beat Seattle, but they had that game up until very weird last 5 minutes or whatever it is. They had that game sewed up.
Yeah.
And they just didn't finish it out. I think that they're on paper. I think they're just the best team in the NFC. Honorable mention there would be Dallas. I think if Dallas has the same team and manages to keep DeMarco Murray, I might be saying Dallas right now. But I'm trying to be unbiased here and not be a Texas boy, but I just think Dallas losing DeMarco Murray hurts them enough that they don't overcome. They can go deep. I think they can go deep in the playoffs, but I don't think they can beat a Green Bay on the road without DeMarco Murray. But we'll see. It's early yet.
Well, I would say the Cowboys, their situation is simple. You want to go deep in the playoffs, they've got to find a pass rush, which is why the Packers were able to go in that game in the playoffs. They had a halftime adjustment, and the Cowboys could not stop that Aaron Rodgers. He had all day.
Yeah.
And so they didn't touch him, lay a finger on him in that second half. And so if they can find a pass rush, that will make a world difference for the Cowboys, and then they might be able to make a run. So we'll see.
Aaron Rodgers is as good as any quarterback as there is at any era in this league. He's just as good as anybody that's ever been.
You can't give him 9 seconds to throw the ball. He'll kill you.
Yeah. But I think they have all the earmarks of going back and winning. I think Seattle's still good. I think they just, you went to 2 in a row. 3, it just doesn't happen. I know Buffalo did it, but it just doesn't happen. That's too tough a conference. It's just too tough. The NFC is markedly better than the AFC right now.
And as we all know, the salary cap is devised to, so that you can't be dominant year in and year out. Not without having to take a lot of risk and losing a lot of your core players because you can't pay everybody.
So, who is your surprise teams? Go ahead and do both of yours, and I'll do both of mine.
All right, AFC. I'm going to stick with what I did last year. So,
I think our surprise team criteria, they couldn't have made the playoffs last year. If they made the playoffs last year, they're ineligible to be a surprise team. Go for it.
Right. Well, I don't think Miami made it last year.
They didn't.
They had a losing record, so I think I'm clear there. In the AFC, Miami Dolphins, they were a surprise team I picked last year, but because they have a losing record, I feel like they qualify for this year also. Last year, they started off well, and then they couldn't maintain their running game. I'm going to assume they've had one other off season to upgrade that position and also improve steadily their offensive line, which was a wreck 3 seasons ago. I think they've got enough components here that they can get up to respectability and make some noise. So I'll go one more time with Dolphins, surprise.
Right.
And NFC, I'm going to go one more time with the Rams because I think they have enough talent there. They just had been killed at the quarterback position. Sam Bradford going down 2 years in a row, who I don't think he was a Pro Bowl type talent, but I think he was a serviceable, solid starter, but we'll never know now. He got traded away. I'm going to assume Nick Foles plays like he did in 2013, where he had no interceptions whatsoever for, 11 games, which is unheard of. I'm going to assume he bounces back from that injury, and that trade, the Rams win that trade, and the Rams are going to make some noise.
My 2 surprise teams, again, use the criteria that they didn't make the playoffs last year. I'm going to go with Oakland in the AFC. Now, surprise team, I don't know if that means that they make the playoffs. I think that means they make some noise, and they're way better than people predicted. I think Oakland could come in at 8-8 and still be considered a surprise team and not make the playoffs. And I think they've loaded up on talent.
Sure, that's a good point.
I think
Yeah.
they've loaded up on talent. I just want to make sure that I'm saying Oakland
Yeah.
goes to the playoffs or win. I'm not saying they win the division or anything. I'm not saying that. But looking at the division, I think Denver, I don't think, is as strong. I think that KC is kind of unpredictable. I don't know which team will show up, because they had some really weak spots last year.
Yeah.
San Diego, again, which San Diego is going to show up? They were kind of the same way, really strong, and then they're kind of weak. And I think that the division is not as competitive. I don't think the distance between Oakland and whoever's at the top is that great as it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
I think they've caught up with them. I think their quarterback has the potential to be the real deal. They've loaded that with talent. They've got a stud linebacker coming into his second year or third year. So they've just every year been at the top of the draft. I think that eventually catches up with them.
Yeah.
I think when it comes down to Oakland will be, as it always has been, is will the coach keep it all together? They're that one franchise that the big question mark isn't quarterback. It's always the coach.
Right.
And I don't know why that is. If it's because it's so volatile with the Davises, I'm not sure what that's about. But Chicago, the big question mark year in year out is the quarterback. So for decades, it's been this is the one franchise. The question mark year in year out is the coach. So if the coach can put it all together and keep it all together, I think they knock some people. I think they catch the people really well. And so NFC, I got to repeat what you said. I didn't notice that, but when you said Rams, I laughed because I didn't realize you wrote that. I think the Rams, I know Jeff Fisher, having been a Tennessee Titans fan for years and Oilers fan for years. I know Jeff Fisher. I know what he's trying to do. I think they're ready. Everybody will be healthy. Knock on wood. For his sake, I think Nick Foles is exactly the type of quarterback that he needs. He doesn't need 300 yards a game. He doesn't need 30 pass attempts a game. Just be judicious, efficient. They will run the ball. That rookie running back will eventually come in and be a factor. I'm not saying he's a 1,500-yard rusher, but I think he comes in and contributes.
Yep.
And they get the job done with win on defense, efficient quarterback play. I think that division with San Fran going down, Seattle probably taking a little step back, and Arizona being unpredictable at the quarterback position. I think the Rams have a chance to maybe even steal the division. I'll go that far with it. I think the Rams have a chance to steal that division. Because it would be the first time that Fisher come up and popped a 13-3 record in there.
Yeah.
Because it's exactly what he's building in Rams is what he did in Tennessee. And that's exactly the formula that he's used to win. And he's doing it again. So my prediction is the Nick Foles trade completely pays off for him. And he gets a Kerry Collins type play that they got in 2008 or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. So I think this is exactly what they get this year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm agreeing with you, but I will say I think it's so predicated on which Nick Foles are we going to get. Are we going to get an injured 2014 Nick Foles, or are we going to get the healthy 2013 Nick Foles? Now that, of course, we have no idea.
I have no way of knowing. I have no way of knowing, but based on Fisher's track record and what he's asked him to do, you will get a calmer version of the 13 one. He's not going to be asked to throw as many attempts as the 13 one does.
If the stars align,
he won't throw 7 touchdowns in one game like he did with Philly. That's not happening.
No. Well, you know how he just needs a quarterback to go out, be efficient, throw 185 yards, right? And then have 0 interceptions.
And with 1 touchdown.
And like 1 touchdown, and that's good. And then the other touchdown, of course, it'll be a rushing touchdown. And he wants his defense to hold the line, and run out the clock.
Yeah, and that's what I think they're prepared to do. I think they're prepared to do that this year. So that's my surprise team. And like I said, I'll go a step further. I think they can. I think they make the playoffs. I think it's possible they can sneak the division. That's my early prediction. I have every right to change between here and the end of the season.
I would say both my surprise teams, Miami and the Rams, I would say are teams that I think are more likely, I think can threaten for wild card positions. So that's my prediction.
All right.
But I think, you had mentioned Green Bay earlier. I just will say this about Green Bay. They have maybe one of the tougher divisions. Because I think Minnesota is going to be better this year, and so is Detroit. So
In Chicago, you never know.
and Chicago, if they can ever get their quarterback situation stabilized, they have some talent there. So, but that may be one of the toughest divisions I think this year.
All right. So there is our uber early, completely ever ready to change our mind on
Yes.
opinions on the NFL as we begin training camps around the league. So with that, we guess we'll see you at kickoff. Adieu.